Hey friends, I had a really interesting comment slash question from a client recently, and I wanted to share a little bit with you here about my response to that because I think it's informative about this kind of work and holistic work in general. Um, my client came in and we were talking about the importance of balanced posture and structure, and he shared with me, something he saw on YouTube or on social by a power lifter of some sort that was describing the importance of like really balanced symmetrical posture. And I think, as best as I can recall in this video, um, the the power lifter guy was stacking like a really thin Red Bull can um, with really heavy weight plates and showing just how sturdy and stable it was when it was, shaped fully and in integrity. And then he removed the plates and did like the little bing, kind of just put a little dent in the side of the can and then put one plate back on it. And of course, the thing collapsed. And I think the lesson in this video was something along the lines of don't dent your can, right? Which, was an argument in this case, and the nature of my client's question around shouldn't we be as balanced physically as possible? Doesn't that make us stronger, more resilient? Um, so here's my answer to that. You are not a can, plain and simple. Okay? A can is a single dimensional, inanimate object that's designed to hold shit. Okay? A human is a multi-dimensional adaptive organism that consists of physical structure, yes, but also a mind, emotions, and depending on your belief systems, spirit and or energy, right? We are much, much more capable than a can, right? And we adapt, flex, and flow to all of the challenges of our lives, right? If, actually, we're all walking around with dents of some sort, whether it's a physical dent, emotional dent, or mental, spiritual, existential dents in our lives. And yet we're all upright. We're all doing our thing as best as we can, right? We're highly, highly adaptable by nature, right? Um, I think these kinds of arguments, this kind of modeling, can, in a very single dimensional way, be informative, right? From a very straightforward, even Rolfing perspective, the more balanced your posture is, the more upright it is, the more symmetrical it is. Generally, that's more like, this poster back here, that's more um, natural, balanced, and things tend to feel and work better the closer in that direction they get, right? Um, but I think this argument is really limited. This idea of like you must be perfectly symmetrical because that makes you stronger, smarter, faster, better, more adaptable, more resilient. Whatever the argument this guy was making. Um, and I would in fact go so far as to say that if someone takes on this kind of ethos in their training regimen or in their self-care regimen, um, it reduces radically their adaptability in other realms. If you're holding so strictly to this idea that I must be perfectly balanced, most likely, in my experience, that is going to reduce your adaptability in other realms. You might have a very strong, very balanced structural body, but your mind, your emotions, your ability to flex and flow and adapt beyond that very strict principle might radically diminish. In fact, I would argue that someone that follows that ideal, when shit hits the fan and they experience some emotional dent or a mental dent, they might lose it right? They might not be very adaptable in other realms, even though their physicality might be very balanced and adaptable. So those are informative, interesting things you can kind of digest on social, on the web to give you some ideas about like, okay, what are some good things to target? But you have to watch how strict and rigidly you hold to those types of principles. Just remember, you are not a can. Okay. Hope this has been informative. Comment or shoot me a message if you have any questions or curiosities. Cheers.